None of us have TikToks. None of us are hitting the whoa. Nobody, Nate?
I got some TikToks.
Renegading? Nobody's... No. I would have liked to see that, Nate Burleson. We've got Peter Schrager. We'll talk about what happened in the Steelers-Bengals game right now. Our show brought to you by Intuit QuickBooks. Kyle, take it away. Hit the whoa.
Peter's not even on Instagram. Bad boy. All right, so here's the thing. Juju's been dancing on everybody's logo before the game for weeks now. He puts it on his TikTok. Last week, it really pissed the Bills off, and they beat the brakes off the Steelers. How'd it go for the Bengals? Boom! They did not like it. That was Von Bell, and he spoke afterwards. What'd you think of Juju dancing on the Bengals logo?
Juju is doing a lot of dancing on other people's logos. What's your take on that pregame ritual?
That's kind of disrespectful. You just got to go out there between the lines, go out there and hit him, and let him know where he stands.
Seems to be a common take of do whatever the hell you want on TikTok. Have a marching band, go skydiving, but could you please stay the hell off our team logo? Seems gratuitous. And the players and the Bengals felt that way, and the entire sideline lost their minds when they got laid out there, but Juju did. Either way, the Steelers have kind of lost their minds too, and certainly lost their way. That's an interception by Mackenzie Alexander with a personal foul at the end after he was way out of bounds. I got nervous for a second. Steelers-Bengals have history. When you see that kind of hit on the other team's sideline, it could have gotten hairy. Thankfully, it did not. And the first half with Roethlisberger was just nothing. He had 19 yards and an interception, down 17-0 to a team circling the drain. They finally get on the board. The Deontay Johnson touchdown, 23 yards, makes it 17-7. But the Bengals came to fight tonight, and I mean that symbolically. They played really tough, and Ryan Finley's like, I'm going to take this thing. I'm going to take it right down Main Street, touchdown, finger roll, hand behind the head. That gentleman got a win against Pittsburgh. It's all he wants for Christmas. And the two of them want to make sure that they're not home the first week in January because it looks that way right now. The Steelers were 11-0 about 5 seconds ago, and they have lost 3 in a row. We got to hear from the Steelers quarterback, number 7, after another rough night.
How do you describe maybe some of the causes for being so good at sometimes and then not getting the results you want at some other times?
I would say that I'm not consistent enough, which affects the offense because the ball's in my hand every play.
What is the level of frustration and concern right now as you head in the last 2 weeks?
High frustration.
Can you get this straightened out? And if not, is it going to be a short stay in the postseason?
Well, we better get it figured out, Jerry, and I think we can.
Steelers drop to the 3 seed. Wow, fall from grace after the 3rd straight loss last night. Costly for Pittsburgh in the AFC playoff picture. The loss opening the door for those Browns. They cannot win the NFC North. That's right. If the Steelers lose to the Colts next week, Colts looking great. And if the Browns beat the Jets, and they should, the Browns will host the Steelers for the AFC North title in Week 17, a pivotal matchup, maybe the game of the year as far as that playoff picture is concerned. Cannot wait for that. Huge upset for huge upset last night, guys. Bengals getting the win there. Who had the worst loss in Week 15? I love it when we have these meetings at 5:30, and usually you guys know exactly where you want to go, and you're like, can I have footage of this? But this question came up, and it was like, and it was dead silence for like 2 minutes, and I was like, this is going to be great. Worst loss this week, Steelers or Rams, Nate?
Yeah, I want to choose both, but for the sake of the show, I'll say the Steelers. It has to be the Steelers. I mean, undeniably, it's the Steelers. You know, and it's for a variety of reasons. In the beginning of the season, they were going on this run, right? We keep talking about 11-0. But they weren't overwhelmingly the favorite team in the NFL, if you guys kind of feel what I'm saying. It's like they were undefeated, but week in and week out, we were trying to point to other squads. Yeah, they're undefeated, but the Chiefs are really good. Yeah, they're undefeated, but Russell Wilson's playing really good in Seattle. Yeah, they're undefeated, but Aaron Rodgers is really cooking. Yeah, they're undefeated, but Drew Brees and the Saints. The point I'm trying to make is, even though that they were undefeated, they had an opportunity over the last few weeks to really slam the door in everybody's face and say, it doesn't matter what you think about our undefeated. We're the best team in football, period. Respect our record and respect how we play. Now it's almost like they're confirming what everybody wanted to think during the season, that this undefeated team was just okay, that this undefeated team was very flawed. That this undefeated team doesn't have what it takes to win a Super Bowl. Now, they can still change the narrative. They got a couple more games. The playoffs aren't here yet. But it's disappointing because what we thought about this squad, that they were a decent undefeated team, has rung true over the last few weeks.
Nate, the Rams lost to the Jets. They lost to the New York Jets. That actually happened. To me, it's like they lost to the Jets. It wasn't like, oh, it was a close game or the Jets pushed them or they made it. They actually lost to the New York Jets. It appears to be a Rams logo on that field, which tells you they lost on their home field to the Jets. They lost to the Jets when the Jets traveled across the country. They lost to the Jets the week before. The Jets lost, I think, by 70 points. Okay, they lost to the Jets, the 2020 Jets. Not like this isn't some old game from before. Nate, they lost to the Jets. Peter, what do you got?
Kyle, I'm kind of with you, to be honest. And it's just because this was the biggest upset the regular season has had in 25 years. And that comes from not me, but from people who are interested in those kinds of numbers. And I would say this. The Rams had everything to play for. The Rams are still in a division race. The Rams could have clinched a playoff berth. They were at home. And yes, to Kyle's point, they lost to the Jets, and they didn't just lose
to the Jets
at the end. And we're gonna blame Goff for that pass. They were down 20-3 at home in the third quarter to the New York Jets after the Jets lost 40-7 to the Seahawks last week. So to me, the Steelers, quite honestly, I've seen the Steelers now lose to Washington. I saw the Steelers lose a game a couple of weeks ago to the Bills that they didn't look exactly sharp. I wasn't shocked that the Bengals can beat the Steelers. I'm not sure the Steelers are that team. The Rams? The Rams had just come off an absolute demolition of Bill Belichick, where you were questioning whether it was Belichick or Brady all these years because they beat him so badly, 24-3. Yeah. To lose to the Jets at home, I think the Jets' loss for the Rams might be the worst and most head-scratching loss maybe that the league has seen in maybe 10 years. It was that shocking.
But the Rams, Schrags, have been up and down all season long. They've been hard to figure out all season long. You love meaning and context. This loss by the Steelers to the Bengals, Schrags, this represents a free fall for them. If they can't figure it out against the Colts, it's hard for me to imagine them winning a playoff game, this Steelers team. So just the fact, it represents so much more for the Steelers, don't you think?
I think that the Steelers is wow, we are in DEFCON mode. And the Rams, you could wake up on Monday and be like, that was weird. Let's go adjust and go beat the Seahawks. The Steelers, though, you're right.
Right.
Macro, big problems. Steelers, you're looking at them right now and you're saying, wow, I don't know if this team could beat anyone right now.
Yeah. The Rams lost to the Niners with Mullins a couple of weeks ago.
The represent thing is meaningful because I also think it applies to the Rams. I thought the Rams were an NFC darling. I thought they could win the whole damn thing. I'm serious, be in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs or whoever it is. I can't say that now. I can't. They lost to the Jets. They're not going to the Super Bowl. Come on. What?
Oh, man. Well, we asked Twitter what Twitter thought. I'm sure WFAN is loving what you're saying right now, Kyle, feeding right into their narratives. But let's see. GMFB, who had the worst loss in Week 15? Oh, this is close. 52.7% saying the Rams lost. To who, Kyle?
To the Jets!
Who had the worst loss? Let us know at GMFB. Okay, let's stay in the AFC North, shall we? Let's do it. Okay, let's check in with a team that is actually trending upwards so that vein in Kyle's forehead stops bulging out. Let's talk about the Ravens. Lots to celebrate there. Turn on that cool music you have back there, Anthony. Talk about their third straight win in a decisive fashion, no less, on Sunday. Our very own Aditi Kinkhabwala has the latest.
The Ravens and their fans may just have to do the unthinkable these next few weeks, and that is root for the Steelers. The Ravens are playing their best football right now. Head coach John Harbaugh has long said that his process is about peaking in December and setting his team up for play after this month. The Ravens, they've scored 40 points in 2 consecutive games. Lamar Jackson has regained his MVP form. He has 10 touchdowns since going on the COVID reserve list. And this defense, it was significantly better Sunday against the Jaguars and is also hoping to get some bodies back and get healthier. But even if the Ravens win out, and they do have the easiest remaining schedule in the NFL, with just the Giants and the Bengals left, even if they do win out, the Ravens aren't guaranteed a playoff spot. They need one of the teams ahead of them, the Browns, the Colts, or the Dolphins, to lose. And who do the Steelers have left on their schedule? The Browns and the Colts, which means the Ravens are rooting for the Steelers.
Wow.
Oh, Aditi, I love you so much. I can't even handle it. The Ravens look awesome, but like Aditi is saying, they need some help to win. If we throw away the records, guys, for a second, 2 games left. Who's playing their best ball of the season right now? Schrags.
In the entire league, I would say the Buffalo Bills look like they're playing and peaking at the right time. Every night they're on prime time, it feels like, whether it be a Monday night, a Sunday night, or in this last week's case, a Saturday night. And then guess where they play on week 16? They play in Foxborough on a Monday night. And I don't know if we're seeing Cam Newton or Jarrett Stidham or what, but I'll tell you one thing. I like the Bills, and I like the Bills big. They are rolling right now. They have been ascending, and I feel like they haven't even hit their apex. I'm saying Buffalo in the entire NFL right now, with that quarterback, he might insert himself in that MVP conversation. Move over Mahomes and Rodgers. We might have a late entry into the convo. I think Josh Allen and the Bills are playing better football right now than any team in the league. That includes my beloved Kansas City Chiefs, who are the Super Bowl remaining.
Whoa.
Yeah, Josh Allen should be in the MVP conversation. The Bills are playing well, but I'm going with the Chiefs. It's very simple for me. They haven't lost since week 5 against the Raiders, who played the best game of the season. And they've been on a run. And I don't care if you want to bring up a 3-interception game. They still won that. They played up against Drew Brees, who came back from 11 broken ribs and played beautifully in the second half and still couldn't beat Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. I don't care if you hit him, you rush him, you pressure him, you put him outside the pocket. He's just going to do this. Like, just name another team that's as scary as these guys. And on top of that, they won close games to make it to the Super Bowl, which was also a close game that they won from behind. So the Chiefs are playing the best football right now because these hard-nosed games are exactly what they're going to need to do again to win their second straight Super Bowl.
Chiefs and Bills, 2 juggernauts, absolutely. I vote for the person running out of the dressing room with the steel chair and going into the ring. I'm going to say the Cleveland Browns, because Baker Mayfield can say something that Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen cannot say. In the last 2 months, he has thrown 1 interception. 2 months, guys. It's not a little hot streak. It's an unheard of streak. He gets compared to dollar store Brett Favre. Brett Favre never did that in his whole career. Taking care of the ball. He's smart Baker Mayfield. He's daring Baker Mayfield. Now listen, the devil's in the details. I don't think the Browns are playing the best football in the AFC, but I think they are playing their best football. They just had a 2-touchdown win against a pretty hot Giants team in which Hunt and Chubb were not really factors. They didn't even need them. I don't want to play the Browns. They're playing their best football. T-H-E-I-R.
Colts are playing the best football in the National Football League right now. They have won 5 of the last 6. They are complete. They are balanced. Phillip Rivers only has 2 interceptions in his last 6 games. T.Y. having a resurgence. Jonathan Taylor averaging 127 total yards a game over the last 4. He's on angry runs every week. Buckner, Leonard, Kenny Moore, game-changing plays on the other side. The Colts have won 5 of the last 6. They've beaten the Titans. They beat the Packers. They beat the Raiders over that stretch. They are working top to bottom. It is so awesome to see them firing on all levels. If they beat the Steelers this week, and I think they do, they have a chance to take over first place in the AFC South. Titans have a tough one this week against the Packers. Colts, baby, all the way. Tom Pelissero joining us right now. Your thoughts at GMFB on that, Tom P. The Rams, terrible loss. To who, Kyle? Because Kyle's mic's still up. Kyle?
Hey, Tom. The Rams lost to the Jets.
Thank you. I got it. We got some bad news.
It's good.
About rookie running back Cam Akers also to add insult to injury.
That's right, Kate. Coach Sean McVay said that Cam Akers is going to be sidelined at least the next week or so after suffering a high ankle sprain in that embarrassing loss to the Jets. Now, Akers actually got his left ankle taped up he came back into that game and finished it. McVay said he is a war daddy. He's just not going to be available for this week's game with the NFC West lead on the line against the Seattle Seahawks. It's a big loss just a couple of weeks after Akers' breakout game. Instead, it'll be Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown getting the work against a much improved Seattle defense. Kay.
Appreciate it, Tom Pelissero. Sorry about blowing out your eardrum this morning on a Tuesday, but you've got a couple of days to heal up for the action, the triple header on Saturday. Thanks, Tom. We'll talk to you in a bit. Christmas Day, NFC Showdown. We've seen these two face off